Hello! Welcome to another book versus adaptation showdown. This time we're doing The Sky is Everywhere. The book is by Jandy Nelson. The movie is on Apple TV. Apple Plus? Apple TV. I think it's Apple TV. The movie did come out 2 weeks ago. I feel a little late in doing this video then, but this is just how I always am. I'm always late. I'm always procrastinating when it comes to videos and actually getting stuff done. I'm just a big procrastinator. It's a problem. But either way, here we are. We're doing it. It's happening. So the book slash the movie, I don't really know a lot about the story or the plot. I just know that this is a young adult coming of age story that also deals with grief. I know her sister dies, and then I think there's a boy involved, but I don't know if it's romantic, if it's just like a friendship, or what exactly is going on. I don't know, but I'm gonna read the book. I'll tell you about the book, and then I will watch the movie, and I will tell you about the movie, and we will discuss, and we will decide what wins. Is the book better? Is the movie better? Just keep watching to find out. Anyway, I will get started on this book and I will get back to you with thoughts when I'm probably about halfway through. Hello. It's been maybe like 3.5 weeks since that previous clip. I have not been finding a whole lot of time to read. I just got a new job and it's a lot more hours than I'm used to, and I'm still trying to figure out a routine, and I just haven't really had a lot of time to read. The only time I've had time to read is while I'm in the car, so I've been doing audiobooks. And I don't have an audiobook of this one, so I'm just getting to it when I can. But I have finally made it to part 2. I haven't finished it. I made it to part 2. Hopefully I can finish it this week and then watch the movie and then get this video out to you. Sorry again that it's so late from when the movie came out. So I just finished part 1, and the story is definitely not what I thought it was going to be. It definitely is what I thought it was going to be in the sense that it's about a teenage girl dealing with grief. But I did not realize this really weird love triangle to a point where I kind of am not liking it, but at the same time, I understand it. I think the author does a really great job of making you understand the choices that she is making, because a lot of it I'm just like, ooh girl, no. But okay, I understand why you're making bad decisions right now. When I read the first maybe few chapters, I was like, oh no, I don't think I'm gonna like this, if this is where the story's going. But thankfully I do really like it, and honestly it's all a credit to the author's writing. I think that is the best part about this book so far, is her writing. I also just think a lot of her sentences and the way she writes is just so beautiful. Honestly, I've highlighted a bunch of stuff. Let me find one that I want to share with you that's not too spoilery. Oh yeah, this line, I loved it. So she said, "It's time for me to talk about what I'm going through. I can't. I'd need a new alphabet, one made of falling, of tectonic plates shifting, of the deep devouring dark. I wonder why bereaved people even bother with mourning clothes when grief itself provides such an unmistakable wardrobe." I love that. I love that. I absolutely love that. I think her writing style is just so beautiful, so I definitely want to read more by her. But I am where I've left off. It's getting real juicy. Something has happened that I just knew that's how part 1 was going to end. I just knew it. And I'm feeling lots of feelings and I want to continue, so I'm going to continue tonight. But as I'm reading it, I know I'm going to be watching the movie, so I keep picturing what the movie might be. So I keep reading a scene and being like, oh my god, I can't wait to see that in the movie. Who knows, maybe it won't be in the movie, but I can't help but just picture me watching the movie of this, and I'm really excited. I'm really enjoying the book so far. So the stuff I didn't expect with the story was obviously the second boy. I knew there was one boy. I didn't know there was a second boy. So there's this really weird love triangle. I don't even know if I want to call it a love triangle. But like that's going on, which I was not expecting, and I also didn't think I was gonna like it in the beginning. But again, credit to the author's writing. It's done very well. And then the other thing I was not expecting with this was the mother aspect of the story. So this isn't like a spoiler, so I think I can mention it. But their mom is not really in the picture. She left when I believe our main character was 1 year old and hasn't come back since. And she is just like, we don't even know where she is really. We're just told she's traveling the world. She has like a wanderlust heart, like whatever. So I want to know more about that, and I think part two might delve more into that aspect about the mom. So yeah, no, I'm liking it. Hello. So I finished the book a couple days ago, actually. I just haven't updated you. But I am about to watch the movie right now. But let me talk to you about my overall thoughts of the book since I finished it, and I loved it. It was very, very close to 5 stars, but I ended up giving it 4.5 stars just because it was a little difficult getting into it in the beginning, and I felt it was kind of slow in the beginning, but overall, I loved it. I thought the writing was like one of the most beautiful writing I think I've ever read. I loved it. And I ended up actually really enjoying the story, and I really felt the emotions of the characters. I thought, again, with the writing, the author did a very good job of capturing the emotions that these characters are going through, and I felt them, and I cried a couple of times, I'm not gonna lie. But every time I was reading this book, I just kept picturing how the movie would look, and I'm so stoked to get started on this movie. The other thing about the book that I completely forgot to mention before, so at the beginning and the end of like every chapter, there's like, it's not always a poem, but it's kind of like just like words written on like, you know, a napkin, a cup, a to-go bag, like just random things, and it would be sometimes either conversations between the two sisters, or it would just be like a little poem, and they're all written by our main character. And I remember, like, as I was reading, I was like, what purpose do these things serve? Like, I wasn't seeing much of a purpose for them, and I was just like, why are they here? But by the very end of the book, they finally, like, mention them, because they also were never mentioned throughout the entire book. So it was just like, what is this? Why are they here? But they get mentioned, and there's a purpose to them. And so I really liked that part of the book. I just wish that they had brought it up a lot sooner, because it just really felt pointless at first. But anyway, really enjoyed the book. I am now going to watch the movie, and I'm very excited. Okay. I will let you know my thoughts once I'm done, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know yet. Hello. It is the next morning. I have watched the movie, and now it is time to talk about it. I'm excited. So as I talk about the movie, I may say some things that are spoilers, so when I do say something with a spoiler, I will put a clarinet here in the corner. So that's when you know there's a spoiler, and then once the clarinet is gone, there's no more spoiler. So I don't think I have a lot of spoilers actually to talk about with this movie, which is good, but just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's talk about the synopsis of both the book and the movie. So let's see, it says here, Lenny is a teen musical prodigy grieving the death of her sister when she finds herself caught between a new guy at school and her sister's devastated boyfriend. Through her vivid imagination and conflicted heart, Lenny navigates first love and first loss. So that's what we've got with this story, and I think I do really like the story. When I was reading the book, I wasn't really into the story at first, but then I really started to like it once we kind of like really got into the characters and their emotions and what's going through. And I think the author, like I mentioned, does a very good job of explaining it in a very realistic way, and a way for us to understand why things are happening and the emotions that are in the moment. And that was what I was most worried about going into the movie. I was worried that those emotions, especially about grief, I was worried that that wasn't going to come across visually, or it wasn't going to come across as understandable in a visual way. But I thought the movie actually did a fantastic job with it, because watching it, I still was able to understand why our main character Lenny was making certain decisions, and they did a great job of explaining and showing her grief. Where are my notes on the movie? I really liked about the movie, because that was the thing I was most worried about going into the movie. Now, my favorite thing about the movie is the production design. The production design was so good, and it's exactly how I pictured it in my head when I was reading the book. It was just so colorful, and Grandma's garden was just absolutely beautiful. So the production design was perfect in my eyes. So now, differences and similarities between the book and the movie. There are actually not that many differences. It's very similar to the book, especially the dialogue. Some of the dialogue I actually noticed was kind of like word for word the same in the book, which I really appreciated. Especially the scene between the grandma and Lenny. You know, like the big kind of like fight scene that happens towards the end, where they're both like talking about their grief together. That was pretty much like exactly what was in the book. And I really like that, because that was one of my favorite scenes, one of my favorite moments. I think the dialogue is pretty spot on. There definitely were some changes. They did take out a couple of scenes. There was one scene in particular that I was the most upset that they took out, and that was the scene between Joe and Lenny towards like the end of part 1 in the book, where they're like in the woods together. They're in her like little sanctuary place that's in the woods, and they have a really great like heart-to-heart moment, and it really like kind of solidifies their love for each other. Like that was the moment for me in the book where I was like, okay, these two really love each other. And then also there are a couple other scenes where they go back to that like little sanctuary place, and it's like a place for them and their relationship. And that just, it wasn't at all in the movie. It was not there at all. Which was very unfortunate, because then I felt like her and Joe's relationship in the movie was not executed as well, and it didn't really feel established, and it just felt like it moved way too quickly, that for what happens that breaks Joe and Lenny up for a bit, and like the big like blow up scene didn't really feel as bad as it does in the book. Because when I was reading it in the book, I was just like, oh no, this is so bad. This is what I was worried about what was going to happen. But in the movie, it was just like, I mean, yeah, this is like bad, but I didn't really feel, basically I just didn't feel the connection between Lenny and Joe within the movie. And I don't think it has anything to do with the actors. I just think it was how they interpreted their relationship in the movie, and how it was written and how it was directed. I just, like, you could definitely tell that they like each other, but it never felt more than just like a crush. It didn't feel as big as being in love as it does in the book. Now, on the other side, Lenny's relationship with Toby, I think they did a really great job with in the movie. And that's the thing I was most worried about in the movie, because I didn't think that that relationship was gonna translate well visually. Because when you're reading the book, you're in the character's mind, and so you're understanding why she's making these decisions. And I was like, I can't see someone making these decisions and not being in their head and understanding why they're doing this. But they did a great job with that. And so I really understood why both of them made these decisions within the movie. Also, the guy who plays Toby, at first when I was like watching it, I was like, why does he look so familiar to me? He looks so familiar. And then I looked him up halfway through the movie, because I was like, this is bugging me. I need to know how I know this person. And it's Pico Alexander who plays Toby, which, by the way, I think he may have been a little too old for the part, but he did not look his age, which is great. But if you don't know Pico Alexander, I saw him in Home Again and fell in love with him. Absolutely fell in love with him. So I really liked him in this movie, and I thought he did a great job with the character of Toby. That's something else. I thought the actors did such a great job with these characters and bringing them to life. And like these were basically just how I pretty much pictured these characters. The only one that I felt was underwhelming actor portraying character-wise was maybe Joe. I still think he did a great job, but I just I don't know, I pictured something a little bit more different in the sense of like his character. Another difference that is with the movie, this one might be kind of a spoiler. So in the movie, they explain that the mom is dead. But in the book, the mom is not dead. In the book, the mom has just kind of like left and abandoned her children, and so Grandma and Uncle Big are taking care of Lenny and Bailey. But then that kind of took out a lot of the book, because especially the second half of the book, there's a lot of talk about before Bailey died, she was like investigating their mom, trying to find her. The mom left by choice, which made like the hurt and grief even worse. But in the movie, they just kind of explain, oh yeah, she's dead. And that's kind of it. So we kind of took out the whole mother aspect of the storyline out, which it bothered me at first because I was like, well, then how are they going to do this scene? How are they going to do that? And like, how are they going to reveal this? And they basically, I guess, just like took all that stuff out. But maybe about like halfway through the movie, I stopped really caring about the fact that they killed the mom off. And I didn't mind it as much. But I did mind it in the beginning, but I think overall, I don't mind it, and I think it wasn't a bad decision to do that for the movie. One of the things that I really didn't like about the movie was they very underutilized Uncle Big, and I think the grandma as well, but definitely Uncle Big, especially when you have a big actor like Jason Segel playing Uncle Big, and you underutilize his character so much. That bugged the hell out of me. I was like, Uncle Big is a much bigger character within the books, and I don't think they used him as much as they should have in the movie. Okay, so now let me go to some more notes about just the movie itself, because I did enjoy the movie, but I think some direction stuff I didn't really like. Like, it was a little too artistic for me. I don't really tend to like super artistic like shots and things. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but some of it I didn't mind within this movie, but some of it was just like, why is this needed? I don't think we need to have this, because some of it does take place within her imagination. And I think that does a good job of showing her grief, but I think sometimes it was maybe just a little too over the top, and they could have toned it down, the artistic, a bit. Oh yeah, and there were also a lot of like super weird close-ups. Like, I was just like, why do we have so many, not so many, there weren't that many, but like, why do we have like super close-ups of just like on half of their face instead of seeing their whole face while they're having this dialogue? That's mainly just one scene I'm thinking about, but like, there was just a lot of that. I thought there were some scenes that lasted too long, and then some scenes that lasted too short. Oh yeah, the resolution at the end just happened a little too quickly, and it just, I don't know, I didn't feel like it was enough to be able to have that forgiveness moment happen. And it was just a very unsatisfactory ending. Those were kind of my issues with the movie. But I do think overall it's a good book to movie adaptation. But I think we understand that the book is the winner here. The book, as I told you, I gave 4.5 stars. The movie, I gave 3.5 stars. So I still very much enjoyed the movie. There was just a lot of story, plot, and writing and directorial stuff that just kind of bugged me about the movie. but overall I think it is still a good movie, and I highly recommend both, but definitely the book. And also I think I cried more with the book than I did with the movie. So there we have it, our winner, the book. Yay. So those are all my thoughts on the book as well as the movie, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely want to do more of these. I really enjoy talking and discussing book and movie adaptations, and I've been wanting to do more, but I just haven't had a lot of time to read lately, so bear with me. I probably will come out with this stuff way after the movie comes out. So yeah, so you can check out the book, check out the movie. It's on Apple TV, and that is it. I will see you guys later with more videos. Bye!